All right, it's time to park one sprayer and get on another one. It's the summer life of a cotton farmer. Well, we finally got this hooded sprayer all geared up to spray post-emergence in our cotton. This is going to be our last weed control pass in our cotton. Actually, it'll be the last weed control pass of any crop for this year. Anyway, we had to get it converted over, where I do my burn down strips to spraying, under the hood and then up underneath the row, and had a few leaks and stuff we had to solve, but got all that done and she's doing good. But man, I just look at this cotton. We're over here on the cell phone tower farm. We plowed all this ground up. I would expect this cotton to look absolutely fantastic. Got all that oxygen down the soil, increase the biological activity, temporarily and everything. And I mean, just look at that cotton. It's just absolutely picture perfect. Got a fantastic stand for the most part. Now, right up here, you can see where the cotton gets really, really short. That's that wet spot that I tried to fill in back in the summer. And I mean, we did improve it, but my work over here with the dirt pan is not done. And I think I want to get that precision ditcher back over here to do a little bit more ditching, because he stopped right over in there, and I really need him to come up all the way through there, because it just does not drain well at all. It really doesn't pine, but it just stays saturated all the time. But that's all part of getting this whole farm rehabbed, and we done a fantastic job of it the last couple years. A little bit more work, should be a good farm. But anyway, this cotton's just about to get too big to run this tractor and hooded sprayer through it. In fact, where the cotton is the biggest, I mean, it's really not going to be doing a whole lot, because the cotton's gotten big enough, it'll outcompete and shade out any weeds. But we're going to go through it anyway, just to make sure we don't have any pigweed pop up. I've already chopped down 5 pigweed right there on the very edge. Don't know how they got there. This is only the second year we farmed it. Before that, it was in pasture and no problems with pigweeds in it then. So only thing I can think of is wildlife brought it over there on the field border. So we want to make sure we get another residual layer down, and hopefully we get it rained in and keep this cotton clean. As far as what my good cotton looks, we got this farm, which is almost 40 acres, and then we got Williams farm, which is the first farm we planted. It's about 60 acres, and we sprayed it with an insecticide this morning, and it looks really, really good too. So we got roughly 20% of our cotton crop that just looks absolutely fantastic now. And for the most part, the rest of it looks pretty dang good. The problem is it's just late. If it was a week and a half ago, I'd be super excited about all of our cotton crop. But the cotton that we did keep that suffered through all that wet weather, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sorry, I had to count rows here. But the cotton that we did keep, suffered through all that wet weather, and it just slowed it down. Then, of course, all the replanted cotton, it's catching up, but it's still got a long ways to go. But anyway, since I last saw you, whenever we got done spraying fungicide on corn, Andy's been hard at it getting grain hauled. Kelly's been keeping them loaded. Me and Carter been spraying. We got all of our double crop soybeans sprayed with herbicide. We had about half of our cotton needed to be sprayed for bugs again. And then I got started on this, and I talked to you a lot during the corn fungicide on how a lot of it was just kind of a guesswork, and Southern Rust was at that time was about 5 counties away. Well, it's Thursday today. We got done spraying on Monday, And anyway, it's a dang good thing that we sprayed our corn, because it was actually confirmed yesterday by UT Extension that southern rust has been identified in Gibson and Madison counties, which we've got, you know, half our corn's in Madison County. So southern rust is here, and it's here early enough to definitely cause economic damage. So I'm sure glad we sprayed when we did, and I think we timed the timing on it, I mean, just about perfectly. It's just that when you get to this time of year, as you can tell by the stage of our cotton, it's dang near impossible to get everything sprayed on time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Because everything is growing and progressing so quickly. I mean, it's really hard to hit the optimal time on all of your crops, especially if you farm any amount of acres. I mean, we're a relatively small farmer for this area. You know, I can't imagine having, you know, 1,000, 2,000 acres of cotton, you know, 1,000, 2,000 acres of corn, and so on, like what a lot of guys, bigger guys have. I can't imagine trying to keep all that sprayed on a timely manner. I mean, we got, you know, about 500 acres of each crop, and it's all we can do to keep all of that sprayed like we need to. But anyway, I'll tell you, we are needing a rain in the worst kind of way here in Crockett County. Now, my cotton's not hurting, our soybeans not hurting, but our corn, you know, in right at 3 weeks, we've had a grand total of about a ½ inch of rain, and usually it's been 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch when we get it. And in the corn crop, yeah, it's not really even enough to even reach the ground. Our corn is holding on very well. It's only starting to twist up in the thinnest spots, but we're quickly running out of moisture, and we're forecast to have a heat dome form on top of us. Well, it's already started, but like the rest of this week and all next week, I mean, it's supposed to be blazing hot. And I think at best we got like maybe a 30% chance of rain a few of those days, and we got a heck of a corn crop out there. But unfortunately here in Crockett County, it's not far enough along, and it can start going backwards in a hurry with that heat and lack of moisture. But thankfully, once you cross the county line into Madison County, all of that has gotten some good rains. We got anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain on our ground up there, which in that corn just like it looks absolutely beautiful. It's not hurting or anything. The problem is that we're in such a concentrated area. You know, all of our farms are within about 8 to 9 miles of each other, and it's very easy that if rain showers miss a particular area, you know, we don't have any farms off on the other end of the county or anything that can catch a rain and make up for, you know, what we lost in another area. We're just not spread out enough to be able to benefit from that. I'm not going to worry about it. I know the good Lord's going to take care of us. He's done it time and time again. Might not take care of me exactly the way I want to be taken care of, but he's going to provide. We'll be all right. All right, we got our best 100 and something acres out of the way. Now we're just kind of moving our way up the county, and we got some good looking cotton here. This is our replanted cotton. Unfortunately, it looks really good if it were around the 1st of July, but it's not the 1st of July. It's like what, 17th or 18th of July, so we're a solid 2.5, close to 3 weeks behind on this cotton of where it needs to be. I haven't seen a single bloom out here. I don't think it's very far away, but we have no blooms yet. But being when we replanted this cotton, I knew it was going to be late. And with the DD60s we're accumulating each day, right now, I mean, it is playing catch up, but it's still behind. Now this cotton up here, it's had some pretty decent rain on it last week or so, and it's definitely not showing any stress like what my cotton in Crockett County is that hadn't hardly had any rain. But we're hitting this cotton about the perfect time with this hooded sprayer when I like to. And because it's had rain, we got a few more weeds popping up in here, some sickle pods, some grasses, and other stuff like that. So anyway, not much else to report right now, just spraying this cotton 38 feet wide, 5 miles an hour, 15 acres at a time. ain't nothing like getting to the field on a Saturday morning, run your first load out, then get a quarter of the way filled up and your pump motor died because it's out of gas. You forgot to check the gas before you left the office. And there's no gas jug on the water truck. Don't know where it is, but anyway, Carter's gonna be bringing me some gas here shortly. We'll get her loaded up and back on the road. But today's Saturday, we're only gonna be working about a half a day today because, well, if you can tell, I'm not my normal work attire. We're cutting out here. We're cutting out here at noon, heading to Middle Tennessee to the Chapel Hill tractor pull, one of the biggest tractor pulls in the nation. It's been quite a few years since we've been, and really looking forward to getting away from this farm, even if it's only for a night, and watching some tractor pulling. And we're going to stop in at the Lampley's and visit with them. Haven't ever been to their place before, so really looking forward to that. But anyway, on this video, a lot of y'all might ask, you know, why are we using that rig to spray cotton? I mean, most cotton farmers parked those things like over 20 years ago. Why are you still using it? I don't see any other cotton farmers using one. Well, that hooded sprayer, it's slow, it's pain in the butt, but it's a vital tool in our battle against, well, specifically Roundup resistant pigweed. We've been battling them for right at 18 years now, and this hooded sprayer allows us to make late season herbicide applications with chemicals that we can't use over the top to kill these resistant weeds. And I know I've seen several farmers on social media saying, well, you just can't do nothing about the pigweeds. You gotta just live with them and try to manage them as best you can. I'm proof that you can control pigweeds. I'm not going to say you're going to eradicate pigweeds, but you can control pigweeds and make them very manageable. However, it's not easy. It's not always cheap, and it does require a lot of extra labor, requires a lot of extra scouting. Now, generally, the only time we see pigweeds in our fields, it's going to be a lone pigweed, and you know what that means is that we didn't have one go to seed last year and increase the soil seed bank. You see one or two single pigweeds out in the field, for the most part, that's going to be transported by wildlife from other areas. And there's not really anything you can do about that. But if you let those one or two pigweeds go to seed, then you're going to have a problem the next year. And if you don't eradicate them the next year, you're going to have an even bigger problem in the third year, and it's just a snowball effect. So for 18 years, we've had an absolute zero tolerance policy on our farm to not let a single pigweed go to seed. Now, we're not always 100% successful because, I mean, 1,600 acres, you can't necessarily scout every row and see every pigweed, especially, you know, you got a corn crop right there. I mean, you know, you just can't drive around and spot for pigweeds. So anyway, our herbicide program is very critical to managing pigweeds. In corn, we use, we use a very stiff shot of atrazine and Rheum Q, and for the most part, as long as we got a good stand of corn, no bare areas in the field, we very rarely have pigweed come up in corn. Now, in our cotton program, this hooded sprayer is absolutely critical because we're limited by what we can spray over the top. Basically, the only chemical that we can spray over the top and kill pigweeds is Liberty right now. You see cotton this tall right here, you're not going to get coverage of the pigweeds, especially if they're just coming up in the row and they're small and everything. You're not going to get any spray on them. Well, that's where that hooded sprayer comes into effect. It's got 3 nozzles underneath each hood that spray right down the middle, and then it's got 2 nozzles on each side of the row directing spray up under the row so that we can get everything in this field. And then not only that, because we're not actually getting any spray on the cotton plant, we have a lot wider array of residual herbicides that we can use to layer another blanket of residual to keep any more weeds from emerging the rest of the year. And what we're using this year, been using the last couple of years, is Valor. Now, you get Valor on the cotton plant, it's going to pretty much fry the cotton plant. But if you can get it sprayed without touching the cotton plant, then we get a rain to activate it, it's going to give us great weed control the rest of the season. But anyway, the thing is very slow, tedious, but for what we're doing, it is the right tool for the job. Now, how's the rest of our weed control program doing this year compared to past? Well, so far I've been really happy with it. You know, outside of the inrows, our weed control has been absolutely phenomenal so far this year. You know, look at our cover crop. It's still blocking a lot of sunlight from reaching the soil. You know, occasionally we'll have a sprig of grass or something coming up, but for the most part, it is very, very clean and looks great. And I really liked leaving the brake out this year. You know, the brake's very expensive, you know, $21, $22 an acre, and going with a split application of warrant, which is about half the cost of the brake, and it's given us really great weed control. And since we split the warrant out from our post-emerge application and just sprayed warrant by itself, you know, we didn't see any kind of burn on the cotton plant or anything. So we got it on the ground, but it didn't ding the cotton up at all like what it has in the past when we include it with like a Roundup application or a Liberty application. It's got all that surfactant that just increases the burn potential of warrants. So overall, I'm really happy with our weed control program. Is that what we're going to do going forward? No, it's not. I think next year, I don't think we're going to put any warrant in the tank with our burn down, just because I just don't, you know, with all this residue, I just don't think we're getting very much down to the soil. And if you're not getting into the soil, it's really not doing any good. So probably going to leave it out of our burn down application. And since we didn't see any burn on our cotton crop post-emerge this year, instead of split applying it, we're probably just going to apply, you know, the full 48 ounces post-emerge, but just separate it out from our Roundup and our Liberty. And I think that's really going to be the ticket right there. Oh, while we're waiting here, let's just take some look at this replanted cotton, see how close we are to getting a bloom. Let's find our lowest position square. I believe it's going to be this one right here. We're getting there. We're still 2-3 days away from blooming, but we will have blooms out here shortly. Which, you know, it's not the worst case scenario. No, it's July 19th now, and in the past I've had cotton blooming around July 20th and still do pretty good. So this cotton has definitely played a lot of catch up with the hot weather the last few weeks. But for this cotton to really do good, we're going to need an extended growing season in September and March with some warm temperatures to keep this stuff producing. But I would think that definitely by this time next week, this whole field will be littered with blooms. But going back to what I was saying earlier about eradicating pigweed, you know, it is possible. Well, we can't exactly eradicate them, but we can keep them at manageable levels, because there's no way you're going to prevent wildlife from transporting seeds. But the thing is, to absolutely control pigweeds, spraying with chemicals over the top or even with a hooded sprayer will only get you so far. Now, once we're done with this, our weed control is not done for the year. Just about every day in the evenings, I'm going to be on the side-by-side, riding around, you know, certain fields every day and scouting, trying to find any rogue pigweeds that have escaped over the top and the hooded applications. Not only in cotton, but also my soybeans, and in my corn, I'll go to known places with pigweeds where we've had problems in the past, and I will walk those areas and scout them. And this is where hand removal is going to be, you know, absolutely critical. You know, we'll be carrying around a hoe with us for cotton and stuff. You know, I'll load up the tank on my side-by-side with Liberty and ride around, and you know, I can easily spray those pigweeds, and I can soak them real good with Liberty, and it'll kill them. Other areas you can't, easily access, whether it be corn or maybe some real tall beans, you know, we'll carry a hoe, we'll walk to those areas, and we'll either chop the pigweeds or we'll pull them up and remove them. Right now, I'm just not watching just to stay on the row. I'm also scouting for pigweeds. We see any pigweeds out here, I've got a hoe strapped to the back of the hooded sprayer. We'll get off, we'll chop those pigweeds and be done with them. But in order to completely control pigweeds, it requires a dedicated systems approach, multiple different avenues to keep these pigweeds under control and keep them from spreading. Like I said, we've been fighting these things for 17 years now, but when resistant pigweeds were first discovered in this area around 2007, 2008, I made a conscious vow right then to have a 100% zero tolerance policy on pigweeds. Didn't matter how much time it took, how hot I got, how frustrating it was, and how much I thought I was losing the battle. We were not going to let a single pigweed go to seed, and it has worked extremely well for us. You know, today we'll just have random scattered pigweeds that's being transported by wildlife, with the occasional time of us missing one and it going to seed, and then we'll have a patch of pigweeds in an area. Now, you know, I'm able to personally do this on 1,600 acres of crop. Now, you got, you know, 2,500, 3,500, 5,000 acres of crop. You know, it's a little bit different story. You know, it's a whole lot more ground to cover. You know, I've taught Kelly, Andy, Carter to, anytime they're out in the field, that's their primary goal, is looking for pigweed. You know, if Andy's spraying the cotton, yeah, he's spraying the cotton, but he's also looking for pigweed too. And if he sees one out here, he just stops and chops it, or if it's a big enough patch, he'll let me know exactly where it is. I'll come out here on the side by side and take care of it myself. Like I said, it doesn't matter how tired you are, how hot it is outside, you cannot have the attitude going across your crop and seeing a pigweed, but like, it's just one pigweed. I'm not stopping the sprayer and getting out and getting it. You want to keep a problem from blowing up and costing you a lot of time, effort, and money in future years, you stop and get it. If you're just driving down the road, looking at your crops, you know, through the windshield, you see one pigweed out there, you better stop your truck, hoof it out there, and pull that one pigweed up. Because that's what it takes to be successful in controlling pigweeds. There's times Kelly's made fun of me. We'll be on our way home from church, and we drive by a lot of our fields on the way home from church. I'll be in my Sunday clothes. I'll see a pigweed out in the middle of a cotton field. I'll stop right there, hoof out there, and pull it up. Because I don't want it to live to see another day and me potentially miss it later on in the year. It go to seed, and then guess what? Next year we got a whole big patch of pigweed. So for all those guys saying you can't control pigweeds, it's just going to be what it's going to be, do your best what you can over the top, that is a recipe for disaster, and it will not be sustainable long term. Because how much longer is Liberty going to be working? It's already developed resistance over in Arkansas from what I've heard. And just like Roundup, that'll probably quickly spread across the U.S. And then we have no over-the-top options for pigweeds. We can't spray dicamba anymore. Dicamba wasn't really controlling them good the last couple of years. 2,4-D this year, Enlist is not really controlling them. You know, there's, other than your pre-emerge chemicals to keep them from emerging, there's no over-the-top options to kill pigweeds. So once we lose Liberty, if you haven't already gotten that battle manageable and under control, I mean, you're going to be out of the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if you haven't started now having a zero tolerance policy for pigweed or water hemp, its cousin on your farm, I urge you to start now, because there's no chemistries coming down the road that's going to kill pigweed over the top. Not to my knowledge. And if you got a grown-up mess when Liberty becomes ineffective, I mean, your chances of making a profitable crop are slim to none after that. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be much out of this, but I tell you what, at this point, every little bit helps. Our corn's still burning up, but we get showers like this, I mean, it just delays major damage just a little bit further to where hopefully one day we catch one of those big storms. So not going to be much, but I sure am proud of everything we can get.